We are literally living on the brink of humanity's last invention. What do I mean by this? What does this mean for humanity? We're going to break it down in this video with a full timeline of what's ahead with AGI looming on the horizon. I'm going to sync you up with what all the top leaders, founders, and technologists are now saying as we enter the fall of 2024, what the timeline looks like with AGI. First of all, let me just give you a little bit. AGI, or artificial general intelligence, is the convergence of automation, AI, and robotics, and the power we need to run these technologies at accelerated paces unlike we've ever seen before. When AGI is here, we will likely also have nuclear fusion, quantum computing, and other ways to run compute that we might not even know about right now today. AGI will be humanity's last invention because every invention that ever happens, whether it's in biology, mathematics, breakthroughs in health, longevity of life, well, all these breakthroughs will happen through AGI because artificial general intelligence will be levels above human intelligence. And from AGI, we will have the birth of ASI, artificial superintelligence, which is a form of intelligence that cannot even be humanly measured. In fact, we will need ASI to define itself for us, which means that ASI will be an alien form of intelligence. But not the aliens you're thinking, like the ones that drop out of the sky. No, an actual form of intelligence we don't understand because it's infinitely beyond our human intelligence. If you're new around here, welcome. I'm Jillian McCoy, and I explore the deepest recesses of the AI rabbit hole. I look at both practical applications of artificial intelligence and where humanity is headed. The new economy the world will have to build within the next half decade. Yes, this is the life we are about to enter. Welcome. Let's go down today's AGI rabbit hole. So it's been a minute since I gave you a full sync up of the AGI timeline, and I want to do that in today's video. It is absolutely wild to study what's coming, and I hope that, like me, your eyes are open to the future ahead of us. It's my belief that if just 1% more of the human race were just aware of what's coming, we would have a more optimistic adaptation everywhere. And some of those people might even know how to help us govern and build the new economy. We are headed into a jobless society where we will have global dematerialization. When automation replaces human labor, capital itself will have to change. The fiat dollar will not make sense in its current state. And I'm telling you, we're headed towards this as a very near and real future. This is not some far-off sci-fi tale. This is the world we are about to live in. Fellow YouTuber David Shapiro recently released a full breakdown called AI Predictions 2024 to 2030, a year-by-year breakdown. It's very good. I've watched it several times, as well as listened to interviews with Mark Zuckerberg, Jensen Huang, and others at the forefront of this industry. Here's my calculated breakdown on the next 5 years. But first, a word to the wise. I think that the benchmarks we have out there to measure artificial intelligence are not all that great, and a lot of experts say the same thing. For example, the Turing test measures how well a machine can mimic human intelligence. Well, we're already there with ChatGPT. It could be argued ChatGPT comes across a lot smarter than most humans. Does that mean a knowledge of the world and real-time context of how it works? I think not, because in the next sentence, you can get a completely bogus understanding of the world as it works, because ChatGPT is just trying to predict and generate a best answer. Is that human reasoning? So the arguments out there have yet to show that we have a benchmark set up to properly measure artificial intelligence and what AGI and especially ASI even is. And this is why I think that whenever AGI is here, we will need these new and almost infinite types of artificial intelligence to tell us how to best measure their intelligence. So when we have GPT-5 and 6, we might have to prompt it to build a whole new model to test its level of reasoning and give us an understanding of what's coming. So that said, let's launch into the timeline, but definitely keep that in mind. We are living in a new frontier. This is the Wild West. We're looking at an intelligence explosion that is completely new. And as we have more and more breakthroughs, the power we need to run AI, we're going to have to continue to step out into this new world. This is still, and realize this is new territory. Old models built in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s may not apply. All right, so 2024, it's completely out. I haven't heard a single expert say that we're going to have AGI this year. In fact, people like David Shapiro, who initially said it may roll out this fall, have taken that back. We still have yet to see GPT-5, which was supposed to roll out potentially this summer, and now it's been confirmed for late 2024, potentially early 2025. Also this fall, we will see more in the realm of the humanoids. There was a big splash this spring. In March, we saw the world's first commercially built humanoid figure 01 partner up with OpenAI to allow for human-like conversations with this walking, talking humanoid. We also saw the Tesla bot Optimus Gen 2 get better and better to the point where it can lift weights, even fold laundry. For reference, in December of 2022, the Optimus couldn't even walk across stage without falling. So we saw leaps and bounds this year in humanoids. And this fall, there could be a rollout of a ton more humanoids in warehouses to replace human workers. This March, Agility Robotics partnered with Amazon to launch a whole bunch of humanoids into their workforce. I think this fall, we will see the very early beginnings of the mass use of humanoids. And of course, for a full picture of where this can go, all you need to do is watch iRobot with Will Smith. It's a pretty uncanny picture of just how much the humanoids could permeate humanity and the workforce. In that movie, for example, there were so many humanoids at work on a daily basis that there was one humanoid to every 3 humans. Could this happen? I think potentially by 2030, when there is widespread adaptation to AI as a whole, when we have AGI, that we could see quite likely a scenario like iRobot. But unlike iRobot, let's hope that they're not out to kill us. Okay, 2025, this will be the year that I believe we figure out benchmarks and we understand how to measure AI so that it surpasses these benchmarks. We will see more enterprises finally start to adapt and move into AI. Problems like hallucinations and LLMs prohibit huge verticals right now, like the medical industry, from moving too far into AI. If that AI hallucinates with patient data, well, that healthcare company is screwed. And so there can't be a widespread use of AI in the enterprise world. But as GPT-5 comes out, as these models get better and better, as hallucination is fixed, we will absolutely see the enterprises start to adapt. And if there is a clear benchmark mastery, well, it's going to make a lot of sense for enterprises to adapt. In 2025, I think we will also see a surge in hiring people that are AI optimizers, AI drivers, AI operators. People that upskill will be in demand. In 2026, I think we're going to see the integration of AI into industries. We're going to be beyond GPT-5 at this point. We're going to have 6, and even Claude will evolve. We're going to have Claude 5. So the top LLMs are going to be better than they were the year previously. We're going to see a lot more humanoids in the market. We're going to see smart home integration directly with AI. And I guarantee you're going to see AGI talked about on a regular basis. Videos like these aren't going to blow minds. It's going to be standard conversation that we're looking at artificial general intelligence, humanity's last invention. And we're about to walk into an era where that exists. So how do we handle it? How do we adapt our economics and societal law to this new jobless world? Those conversations are going to be had every day in 2026. All right, 2027 is the earliest year I believe that we will have AGI. If you look at all the predictions out there from technologists like Ray Kurzweil, founders like Elon Musk, Sam Altman, Dario Amodei, Mark Zuckerberg, 2027 is the the earliest year anyone has pinned AGI to. This is the year, for example, David Shapiro is also saying AGI will for sure be here. And of course, this is speculation. Will it for sure be here? Well, if we don't have the compute to run it, no, it won't. But if we do, game on. OpenAI, in their documents on superintelligence, talk about ASI as if it will be here by 2027. So that's interesting. They've completely skipped AGI and gone straight to ASI, which begs the question. I've seen this question on so many forums, even from some of you in my own YouTube comments. And I agree with the speculation. Have these huge tech companies like OpenAI and Microsoft, Google actually uncovered AGI? They just haven't rolled it out to us yet. They're waiting for society to be a better realm in which to drop something that will cause potential total market collapse and the rebirth of society itself. And that's why OpenAI is talking about ASI as if AGI doesn't even exist. Or is superintelligence a word that they use to define AGI? I think the jury is out on that, and time will tell. In different interviews and in the press, Sam Altman has predicted that it will take another 5 years from 2023 until we see artificial general intelligence. All right, so moving on from 2027, the year of predicted potential AGI, 2028 will be the year that governments have to figure out AI. For one, this is election year, and for two, this could be the second year in which AGI exists inside humanity. Yeah, governments are going to have to get with it. We're going to see a complete shift in the job markets, potential mass layoffs, and regulatory levels are going to have to figure out what to do with potential mass homelessness. There's going to be geopolitical tension unlike at any other time, and we're going to need to do a mass societal transition to a jobless society, a post-labor economy. What does this look like? Well, we need to be talking about it now and not wait for 2029 to roll around. My hope is that world governments come together with smart technology leaders, founders, authors, innovators, and we can work together as a human race, pulling from our brightest minds to develop this new society. And of course, we have clues going all the way back to the 1700s on how we can adapt a stewardship-based approach to a new society that would actually make UBI itself work across the world for the first time in history. But can we get there? That's a tough bet, but I'm an optimist and there's a lot of hope and some time left. That means we can. All right, moving on from 2028, the year in which governments and AI will have to align, into 2029, which is a potential quantum leap for humanity. This is the year in which there is a lot of predicted certainty that AGI will arrive. In 1999, Ray Kurzweil predicted that we will have AGI, and his prediction was by 2029. Elon Musk has kind of gone back and forth, said different things, but currently he is also saying 2029 for AGI. Dario Amodei of Anthropic thinks it could happen a little sooner. So his bet is around the same time Sam Altman, OpenAI, has made their bet, which is 2027, 2028. And it's interesting, right? Because Dario comes from OpenAI. What are they seeing? Why are they leaping straight to superintelligence by 2027? All right, so back to 2029. This is the year in which we will likely have quantum computing, nuclear power figured out, gigantic and unbelievable new data centers, longevity escape velocity, cybernetics. We will start to see technology merge in some ways with humans, depending on the level of acceptance and the level of necessity involved there. And we will see mass robot integration, commercial and domestic robots, like Rosie the robot in the Jetsons. This will be normal in the year 2029, which means that by 2030, the world itself will completely change. And if we have the power and the means necessary, like nuclear fusion, quantum computing, to run parallel processing and the most powerful forms of artificial intelligence we could ever dream up, then we are well on our way to artificial super intelligence. And it will be here in society by 2030. Elon Musk has said that by 2029, AI will be smarter than any human on Earth. And right now, Mark Zuckerberg, whose company Meta is leading the race in several ways with AI, has made it a personal goal to allow everyone using Meta to almost clone themselves, create agents. Here's a clip of what he recently said with Jensen Huang.
To basically create agents for themselves. So whether that's all the many, many millions of creators that are on the platform, or hundreds of millions of small businesses. We eventually want to just be able to pull in all your content and very quickly stand up a business agent and be able to interact with your customers and do sales and customer support and all that. So the one that we're just starting to roll out more now is we call it AI Studio, and it basically is a set of tools that eventually is going to make it so that every creator can build sort of an AI version of themselves as sort of an agent or an assistant that their community can interact with. And it's going to be very clear that it's not engaging with the creator themselves, but I think it'll be another interesting way, just like how creators put out content on these social systems, to be able to have agents that do that. I think that there's going to be a thing where people basically create their own agents for all different kinds of uses. Some will be sort of customized utility, things that they're trying to get done that they want to kind of fine tune and train an agent for. Some of them will be entertainment, and some of the things that people create are just funny, and just kind of silly in different ways, or kind of have a funny attitude about things that we probably couldn't. We probably wouldn't build into Meta AI as an assistant, but I think people are kind of pretty interested to see and interact with. And then one of the interesting use cases that we're seeing is people kind of using these agents for support. This was one thing that was a little bit surprising to me. Is one of the top use cases for Meta AI already is people basically using it to role play difficult social situations that they're going to be in. So whether it's a professional situation, it's like, all right, I want to ask my manager, like, how do I get a promotion or a raise, or I'm having this fight with my friend, or I'm having this difficult situation with my girlfriend, like how can this conversation go? And basically having a completely judgment-free zone where you can basically role play that and see how the conversation will go and get feedback on it. But a lot of people, they don't just want to interact with the same kind of agent, whether it's Meta AI or ChatGPT or whatever it is that everyone else is using. They want to kind of create their own thing. So that's roughly where we're going with AI Studio, but it's all part of this bigger, I guess, view that we have, that there shouldn't just be kind of one big AI that people interact with. We just think that the world will be better and more interesting if there's a diversity of these different things.
So there you go, an entire timeline to AGI. Now the question could be asked, Julia, is this going to be a simple rollout? Because it kind of sounds simple. How you've laid it out, it sounds like it could just happen. And the answer to that is definitely not. We're going to see a very messy rollout. I'd almost guarantee that humanity is not going to know what to do in some instances. And my call to action to legislators, innovators, founders is that we got to work together to figure out the roots, the foundation of a new society where UBI could be mainstream. And we, as a human race, as a whole, no matter our age, race, condition, accessibility to resources, belief system, political party, you name it, that no matter what, we all get to benefit from the basic right to resources, and that we no longer have to tie up our time to get the resources that we need to spend our time the way we want. And with this looming on the horizon as a possibility for humanity, it's worth it to take the time to figure this out and build the new economy. If you've watched this video, I'd love to hear from you in the comments, your thoughts on the timeline of AGI. Do you think it'll be here in less than 5 years? Is your money, your bet on a certain date? Or maybe you think the complete opposite and you're not sure you'll ever see it. I'd love to hear all sides of this. So drop me a comment and let me know. And as always, thank you so much for being here. There's no one I'd rather spend my time with than you, exploring the AI rabbit hole. I'll see you down the next one.